Claude, thanks for taking the time. It is a very hot room where we are, so I appreciate you coming and spending the time with us. What is the mood around this place at the moment? Semi-final to come here on Sunday.
Amazing. We look, to be honest, it's been a challenging season so far, but a lot of hard work has gone into it, and I'm very pleased for all the players, the staff, the club, and the fans for Sunday.
I don't know about you, they're here in particular, but actually it feels like maybe the rest of the country is catching up. There does seem to be a different feeling around the One Day Cup, the excitement that it breeds at this place. Do you guys get the full sense of that, the coaching staff, you, the players, just how much the fans here, I don't know, have really attached themselves to this competition?
Yes, they do. You know, there's a great atmosphere, but what we also have to keep in mind is the high end of the summer. Like, this summer is probably the best summer I've witnessed for years. And if you combine that with holiday season, the hundreds on, some fans don't like the 100. They like to support their own club. And we've had great support. And it's such a nice format. It's a mixture of 4-day cricket and T20. I would probably say more towards 4-day cricket. So your old cricket historian and cricket lover really likes the 50-over format. And we've played well, you know, we've had a good season so far, and it's very exciting to see.
We'll focus particularly on the One Day Cup, but I did want to get your assessment actually of the season so far. Obviously, the return to Division 1 after all these years, and then the T20, of course, which, you know, I don't think it's unfair to say was a disappointing campaign. How have you assessed the season leading up to the One Day Cup?
Yes, look, it's been tough. You spot on there that if we start with the blast's been disappointing. We've had a really good run just before we had that break going into that 4-day slot, and then we didn't start well. And you need momentum. With only 12 games, you need to win and you need to pick up that momentum. And it just didn't happen. Not a lack of trying, not a lack of planning. These things happen, but we have learned, you know, and you take your learnings and you try and improve for the next year. Championship cricket has been interesting. You know, we sort of knew what's coming our way. We've had a bit of unluck with injuries, but that's not an excuse. A bit of overseas signings here and there that we're very fortunate to have found some good overseas signings on a very last minute. But all in all, we've learned again, you know, and saying that we've got 6 4-day games left this year. Second bottom of the table, a lot to play for, a lot of energy in the camp, a lot of excitement, a lot of positivity. So it's going to be interesting to see how we finish.
It really puts it into perspective, saying only 6 more 4-day games. It feels like we're just getting going, really, even though the summer has felt like a long one with the heat. You talked about the challenges you've had to face there with injuries, with, you know, the fact that your club captain, you know, hasn't been able to return this year. As the guy who's responsible for going out and recruiting and making sure that Alfonso Thomas, James Taylor and those guys have the players available, how have you found this? Has it been the most challenging in terms of recruitment?
I actually love that most. Like that, to me, I love that part of the job. It is challenging, but it's, you know, we do work as a team as well. It's me that go and do the deal and make sure everything's done paperwork wise, but we do discuss. And yes, it is challenging in today's world of franchise cricket and international cricket and workloads, etc. You've got to find the right individual. You've got to find the one that is at a certain price tag, which is important. I'm not saying we can't. We do pay our players well, I believe, but it's got to find the right character, and it makes it very intriguing of what this changing room and team needs for somebody to come in and bring their experience. Nick Kelly's been outstanding this year. You know, what a signing. Ajaz Patel, I know he hasn't taken the fifers that fans would like, but what a good bloke to have in the changing room. A lot of experience, and going into the back end of the season, that's where he might just come into his own and do the job. You know, so we've been lucky with overseas signings. And of course, Ashton Turner was here for the Blast, and I know the Blast was disappointing, but what a leader, what a bloke, a lot of experience, and it made such a big difference in that changing room, not just with the Blast, but developing young players, guidance, and those are the things we're looking for. So recruitment is massive. and it's very important for our plans going forward, and it plays a big part in our success on the pitch.
It's interesting there you talking about the recruitment of those overseas guys, because I think, as you say, Nick Kelly come in, but you think of Nick Kelly, you think of Ajaz Patel as well, and you think of players that can do it across the different formats. Ashton Turner obviously came in for the Blast, and you said there about the challenge of finding the very specific kind of player you want. Has that been sort of what you've been looking for? Players that can do it across as many formats as possible? Because, of course, there will be people looking at the T20 Blast and saying, OK, well, if you go and get specific players who are used to franchise cricket, playing the Blast, playing that kind of competition around the world, you might see more success specifically in the Blast. So I'm wondering, how difficult is it to find that balance for you in particular?
It's a great question, and it's finding the right balance and what works for us. You can go either way. You can go short term and get overseas in certain blocks and focus on the Blast, or you say, right, I need somebody to spend time at the club, build relationships who can play more than one format and really invest into the club and vice versa. So we discuss it. You know, we're not set in our ways. We've gone the long-term route before. That doesn't mean that we can't go the short, more pockets with specialists coming in. It all depends on what we need and what we feel that's short and how we're going to do that.
From the outside, Leicestershire has enjoyed success over the last few years, but it is still one of the smaller counties, one of the smallest budgets, so it would be easy to look from the outside and say, OK, well, Leicestershire need more bang for their buck, so they need players across all formats. But actually, are you saying that, mate, whether it be next season or another time, actually, if you did decide, OK, well, we want to go for the Blast a little bit more this year, you could be in a position to bring in specific players to aim for?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and that's something that we will definitely consider. I'm not saying we're doing it, but we will consider, and again, it depends on availability. What cricketers, who are they, what can they offer? County cricket's such a long season. You know, it starts in April, you've got your 6, 7 4-day games up front. For instance, if you ask a fast bowler to come in and do those 4-day games and the Blast, it's heavy. Batsmen can, because that's easier. Spin bowlers can. So it all depends on what we need, but absolutely, we can always look at that.
And you spoke there about, again, finding the specific player for the budget, ability. I was talking to Adam Whitty, who, of course, comes here and chats to you, and he's covers the rugby at Radio Leicester as well. And we often talk about the wings that Leicester Tigers have available are probably the best of the wings that aren't getting called up for England. If you have a fly half, ideally you want the 4th best fly half in the country because they are the best of those that aren't going away with England. I imagine it's similar here, that almost trying to find those players that are just not getting called up, if you see what I'm saying, finding the best players around. But then, of course, you have the situation where if they do perform and they impress for you, there are chances of them getting called up. Again, how do you find that challenge of that balance of recruitment in terms of that talent?
No, it's a great statement. Hunger is a big thing, because county cricket back in the day used to be the thing to go and play for any international cricketer. Now with all the franchise cricket, you've got to make sure there's a hunger. It's hard work. County championship cricket is a hard slog for any overseas player, more so for bowlers. So that hunger, that opportunity to come and make a name for yourself. Look at a guy like Wiaan Mulder. When Wiaan Mulder joined Leicestershire, he was a young, upcoming cricketer in South Africa who's had a sniff of international cricket, but his game wasn't really there, and all he wanted to do is play county cricket. That's what he wanted to do, and he wanted to use that to up his skills and his experience. So the club and him came together and said, there's the opportunity, and it worked for the budget. Would I probably say that the same? Wiaan's now a set player in South African cricket team. We celebrating, you know, I know he's gone to other counties, but then you work out, is that the opportunity for Leicestershire? And that's how we've got to look at it. I'm not saying we don't have the budget. We can spend money on players, but for me, that hunger of coming and do the hard yards in in a campaign that's not really number one in cricketers' minds at the moment. There's a lot of franchise cricket around. Is very, very important.
How is it then trying to, because as you say, franchise cricket is so huge now, and people have got to earn a living. They can go and earn so much money going around the world and, being a bit of a journeyman, being a bit of a gun for hire. How do you find those conversations then in saying to a player, actually, this is a really good opportunity to come at a really great club, it's a good standard. How do you charm them and get them here to Grace Road?
I suppose that's the trick, right? It's communication, it's our network, it's having conversations, it's finding out who's interested. It's selling the life in Leicestershire is a big thing. A lot of our guys live out the Market Harbour way. All the new recruitments has found this little hot spot. We call them the Harbour Mafia. They've realised it's only an hour on the train to London. It's a beautiful part of the world. A lot of the rugby players live out there. So that's a big attraction for us. Selling the club, our cricket structures in such a healthy place. We've probably got the best training facilities in the country. Leicestershire, if you look at all the training facilities at all the test venues, you can ask the international teams coming here, they'll say, can we please go to the Leicester Nets to go and practice? It's been like that for years, so we're very lucky with that. Players who want to learn and come and up their skill level, what a place. But you don't only need training facilities, you need a good coaching structure. We've got wonderful coaches, Alfonso and James Taylor with the support staff has done a wonderful job creating an environment and a culture where it's relaxed, it's organised, and people are getting better. And then it's opportunity, because you can go to big clubs where there's 24, 25 on the books. Am I going to play, right? Because if you don't play first team, how are you going to get better? If you play first team, you're going to get better much quicker. So those are all little things that we can use to our advantage, but it's got to be the right individual. And it's very exciting for the future. A guy like Hamza Shaikh. Hamza Shaikh has joined us. Warwickshire has done an amazing job to develop this youngster. I mean, a lot of respect to them. And he's now found himself in an environment where he's going to get a lot of opportunity to play cricket, and he's already proven what it can look like. There's a lot of potential there. And our job is to make sure that we maximise that potential and help him as much as Leicestershire County Cricket Club.
With Hamza in particular, he's the name that I've written down in my notes, because obviously already looking ahead to next season, he is obviously come in early on loan. But again, when you have the challenge of needing to bring people in because of injuries, players missing, I don't know, do you take a little moment of pride when they come in and they hit the ground running straight away, as he has been able to do, and you sort of say, okay, I got that one right pretty quickly?
A little bit. I mean, a little bit. I think the research we do and the stuff we look into, we're quite confident that guys that we get to the club will deliver. Cricket is a funny game. It goes up and then it goes very quickly down, and then it's who can go back up. So those characters are crucial. It's not just the talent, it's the ones who really are prepared to put the gloves on and fight for it, is the ones you want. And good guys, the changing room is so important. It's not about the individual. It's never been about the individual. It's about the team and the club. And we're very fortunate to have that environment here. There's no egos. But Hamza has been a good one for us. Yes, and it's nice too when he walks to the wicket and gets a few runs, but that's not the main excitement. For me, he's 20 years old. He's got so much to offer. There's a very high ceiling. There's a big hunger for a lot of runs, which is crucial. And he just wants to get better. So that's great.
I'll ask you more about recruitment for next season in just a sec, but I am glad that you've vindicated the fact that basically all the new lads that I've spoken to, I will ask them how they're finding life in Leicestershire and whether they've been out and been able to enjoy the county. And you've basically brought it up yourself just a couple of minutes ago. I'm wondering what would be top of your Leicestershire attractions that you would be spreading out? Braggy Park, maybe getting out to the county somewhere in the city.
I mean, look at our luck. We're so fortunate in this city with the sport that's on offer. You can go and watch rugby in the winter or football. You can watch basketball. We've got wonderful golf courses around, paddle, tennis. There's gyms everywhere. Beautiful countryside. You know, you've got the north, the south, the east, the west. They're all beautiful villages. Lovely schools for kids to go to, may it be private or not private. It's a lovely county to live in, and it's right bang in the middle. So you've got access to all the corners of England. I should become a tourist.
You absolutely should. We'll get you on the Leicestershire Tourist Board.
So if you look at all of those things with a very good cricket structure that's open, transparent, a lot of knowledge in there, international experience within our coaching staff, quite a few, it's great. What a place.
What a place. I will never tire of hearing people talk up Leicestershire. And of course, those lads in Harborough have got Harborough Town now, just been promoted. Their first home game of the season is on Saturday. So hopefully we'll get that group, get the Harborough Mafia down to Harborough Town at some point soon. We've already mentioned Hamza Shaikh is in for next season. He's already arrived on loan. A couple of other announcements as well. But how is recruitment and, you know, tying down lads who are already here as well? How are plans for next season going at this stage?
No, going well. Look, it's a busy time. So from the 1st of June, crazy as it sounds, from the 1st of June, which is right in the middle of a cricket season, the contract negotiations will start officially. And you're allowed to approach other clubs, and agents call, and it's sometimes feel like a stockbroker, but it's going really well. We're nearly there where we want to be. There's a big change in Leicestershire this year. There's about 6 players out of contract this year. We've already known that 2, the one is retiring, the other one's leaving. But there's a lot of change, and we've got to look at next year, and we've got to make sure that for the next 2-3 years we're in a good place, and I'm confident we will be.
Obviously, we already know Rishi Patel will be departing the club. Just a word on him, actually, and I thought it was quite nice. I can't remember if it was his first performance or his second performance just after the announcement, but basically a match-winning performance. You could see how, I don't know, I think it showed how committed he still was for the rest of the season. Not that I think there would have ever been any doubts on Rishi, but just a word on his contribution to the club and maybe why he won't be here next year.
Amazing. So first of all, amazing contribution. You know, Rishi is a quality cricketer, averaging close to 14 first-class cricket. We've seen the hundreds he can score in white ball cricket, and very sad for us to see that he moves on. But next to the sad, there's also congratulations and excitement. And we've done our bit. We've tried our best to try and keep Rishi here, but Rishi's been open. He's been honest, and he wanted to go. He wanted to challenge himself in a new environment. I would probably say it's fair to say Hampshire is a bigger structure, connected with franchise cricket, etc., etc. And you can't stand in players' way. And we as a club, we do the right things. We celebrate it, as long as Rishi commits to Leicestershire in the right way, which is shown, you know, we will do the same. And that's life. And we wish him all the best. We're not angry. We're disappointed, but we're also celebrating. There's no ugliness behind it. Cricket moves on, and that gives somebody else an opportunity to use this opportunity at Leicestershire to maybe hopefully do the same thing or bigger things.
Do we expect any announcements of it? I'm aware Charlie, who runs the media, maybe won't want you to reveal anything too quickly, but are we expecting any sort of announcements in the coming weeks? I don't know.
Yes, so we will probably look more at the back end of the season, and we will let people know of what it will look like. Very exciting, but we'll keep our cards close for now. There's still a lot of cricket going on. Like I said, we're going into a semi-final on Sunday, which is a big day for the club. It's probably our biggest day for the year. On Sunday is our biggest day. But the 4-day cricket is massive, because if we can stay up, how good would that be? You know, it's not going to be easy. It's tough. There's no easy games in county cricket, Division 1 or 2. And it's a case of keeping that group very close together, making sure that we cover everything and try our best.
does the fact that it could be Division 1, hopefully it'll be Division 1, it could be Division 2, is that having an impact on recruitment at all, or do you just plan to find the best players that you hope to get, whether it be Division 1 or 2?
It doesn't matter. So there's no... Look, we what we don't want to do is go into Division 2 and go, I like the word progress. So I would like to know that what we do for next year will be stronger for this year. If you look at all 3 formats together, that's what we would like to do. Need a bit of luck. And you need the right people involved. Peter Hanscom is back next year. So
that's basically like a new signing, isn't it?
Yes, well, he's an amazing individual. What a leader and a fantastic player. Touch wood, nothing happens to him in the winter. But that's all in place for him to come back as club captain for next year.
You mentioned Sunday. There has been the posts on social media about needing to open the phone lines for extra hours because people are desperate to get their tickets. Obviously, we are talking on Friday. Notts and Yorkshire are currently in action as we speak. You've not had to play in that game. How much of a difference does it make, actually, that the guys were able to top the group and not had to worry about this extra game this afternoon?
Oh, it's an advantage. You've got just more energy. You don't have to. You've got one less game to get you to the final, so it's definitely an advantage. There's no guarantees with it, but it does put you in a good place.
How excited are you for Sunday?
I'm very excited. I can't wait. I'm hoping it's going to be a packed crowd. I really do, Jack. When this place fills up, there's a different atmosphere to it. I really hope that people come and support their team, and the weather looks good. Why not? It's going to be hopefully a great game.
I think you'll sell plenty of refreshments if the heat's anything like it's been this week. I'm wondering if you were doing the same as me, texting mates, texting Charlie, who's part of the press team here that I mentioned before, just nervously trying to work out net run rate. I think we all were focused on Notts, and then all of a sudden Lancashire put on that ridiculous score of 4-4-3.
I was glued to the phone when I saw the 420 odd. I went, oh my word, here we go. But look, these things happen. That's why it's such a nice comp, because you're never out of it really. And Lancs, well done to them for getting that score. But we were, I think it was 0.2 net run rate. But look, there's going to be 4 quality teams in the semis, and you've got to do the right things on the day, and do the basics well under pressure. There's a lot of pressure, and then need a bit of luck.
I was there at Trent Bridge, 3 years ago now, 2023, when you guys won this competition last, and it was just such a brilliant day and felt like such a moment. It's easy to forget that at that time Alfonso and James hadn't fully committed to taking over this job full time. They were here on a temporary basis, although I'm pretty sure with a microphone in his face I got Alfonso Thomas to basically commit to a contract on the pitch that afternoon. But how great would it be, not just for you guys, for the players that were there 3 years ago, but the players that weren't, but for those fans that were so loud at Trent Bridge on that day, to be able to give them another day out like that? How much would that mean to you?
A lot. The fans are massive, but we've got to earn it. We've got to do it right, and the team's ready. They had a very light practice yesterday and this morning. A lot of excitement in the camp. It's a good side. So we'll hold thumbs and support them, and hopefully we get there.
And look, you already touched upon it right at the start of our chat, but the love for this competition, not just here, I've seen, it's felt like it's been the case here since that win in 2023, but I've seen a lot more talk about this sort of natural growth in interest and love for this competition. And I'm not here asking you to criticise the other competition that I won't name. But actually, does it prove that just with a great competition, with what's happening on the pitch, naturally it's felt like there's been some really tense games. I've never been more passionate about maths than I was checking net run rate on Tuesday afternoon. Is it sort of proof that actually if you let the cricket do the talking, the love will grow for a competition. The fans, if you build it, they will come.
100%. So it's quality cricket, but on the other comp, that comp is crucial for us and safe cricket financially, so that's crucial. I think what it also has done, it's brought a lot of youth into the 50 over comp. Not as much at Leicestershire. We didn't lose many to the 100, but I think it's a very positive thing for the rest of the country to see that youth. But the format is such a difficult format because it's not T20 cricket. You've got to be able to bowl 10 overs. There's a big difference bowling 4 overs with only 4 guys saving 1 and the rest on the boundary versus 10 overs with the extra fielder in, right? And you got the different power plays. You got the 2 new balls up front. That's made a big difference. So it's a very it's a great game to watch because up front the ball has got a chance. But when you get in, you've got an opportunity to score runs, big runs. But yeah, there's a lot of variations and some sides pick 5 bowlers, some sides pick 6 bowlers. And it's a lot of tactics involved and it's a great game to watch. I found that the hardest one to watch is 50 over cricket. The hardest one to watch.
Why is that?
There's so many changes, right? We were 16 for 4 in the final and 223, if you remember.
I remember.
I had a friend who called me and said, is it still worth turning up on the day? Because we were 16 for 4 and we ended up winning the game. Explain that to me.
Can I tell you what me and my friends did? You are going to either laugh at this or think we're a bunch of idiots. The club sold some superb bucket hats in the lead up to that final. And the bucket hats are reversible. And at 16 for 4, trying to find any way to influence the game from the stands, we all made the decision to reverse the bucket hats.
That's the trick.
And I don't know how. It seemed to have an influence. Harry Swindles and Sam Evans obviously clocked what was going on with the bucket hats.
What a day.
But I don't know, it was all just part of the magic and the joy of days like that.
Can I ask you a favour to bring that group of guys on Sunday with
Absolutely.
your bucket hats and keep it ready just in case?
Absolutely. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, 100%. So.
But as you say, that that day, it can, and I'm pretty sure, was it Gloucestershire 2 years ago? There was a similar vibe when it just looked like a collapse, and all of a sudden, one innings, one player, one outstanding bowler can completely change the game. And as you say, that is part of the joy of this competition and this format.
100%. I mean, if you combine that with the weather and the quality of cricket you're going to see on Sunday, there's no reason why you shouldn't come down and come and watch. And it's a time, the 50 overs gives you time to recover as a batting side and to recover and take wickets as a bowling unit.